here with Leah Smith. We assume is going to be the ACC champion in the 1650, but that's not sure yet. So Leah, explain why you were in the first heat of the mile.
Most of the college dual meets that I compete in don't offer the mile. They just offer the 1,000, and I didn't compete in the Georgia invite so that I could get ready for the World Championships in December. So that was the only time I could have swum the mile this season, and I didn't have a time, so I had to swim in the first heat because they don't take 1,000 times.
Right. So I know you swum plenty of miles by yourself, but what was that one like when you were lapping people quite a bit?
I tried not to pay attention to the other lanes, especially because I was in lane 7, so couldn't really see anybody else. The only things that I were really paying attention to were my teammates on the side of the pool and my coach giving me signals for how I was doing throughout the race. So, yeah, I mean, sometimes it's great to have somebody to race against, but I also know that I can race in pretty much any condition.
Yeah. So 143, 430, and 1531 this week. So about where are you in terms of rest, and how are those times for where you need to be right now going into NCAAs?
Those times are great for me. Honestly, I had one of the hardest weeks of training last week in my career. So I was unsure of what my times would be, but I knew I would be strong. I honestly tell myself if you put a suit on, you're going to go fast. So my confidence isn't really deterred by how much rest I get. I think I'm a racer and I can pretty much get up and go. So I'm very, very happy that I got a really good week of training in last week, because I think that I can just use this meet as momentum and keep training and then get a really great taper for my last NCAAs.
Yeah. So just because you said it, your last NCAA, is that kind of weird to say? And you're about to be recognized during senior night here, and how weird is this?
It's weird, yeah, but I've had a long time to prepare because, we had our senior meet, so had our senior dinner, had just various things that I would say were my last whatever. And so I kind of, watching the seniors graduate last year, I kind of had a little taste of it. I knew that, like, some of my best friends graduated, and so, this year's a little weird because even though it is my last year, I keep remembering that I'm not done with swimming. I'm just done with swimming in the NCAA collegiately. But I'm still not, by any means done. So yeah.
So real quick before we go on with the college stuff, I wanted to ask about Short Course Worlds. Obviously winning a couple individual gold medals, your first big international gold medals. What was that whole experience like, even if it wasn't a world championship in the sense that every single best swimmer in the world was there?
Yeah, I think that, like, it's nice for if swimmers can go, if they can make it work with school. I think everybody that can go should go, because I think that it's nice to show the world that, like, even though we aren't sending a complete A team, we still have people who are fast and can compete. So I was happy to be able to have the chance to even go. And I barely had any finals. So, I took a few finals while I was there.
Lucky senior.
Yeah, I took a few finals while I was there. I took two when I got back. But once I saw my final schedule, I realized I could make it work, and that it was only a short trip to Detroit and then a little across the street to Canada. So it was awesome to win world championships. I think that I raced some girls that I've never gotten a chance to race before, and I got really great experience. So, and it was just fun to be with kind of a smaller group. Since it wasn't the typical team, I got to know some people that I wouldn't have met before. And
that was something I was going to ask about as well, your relationship with Mallory Comerford. Obviously, gotten to race her a bit the past couple of years, but now you know her a lot better. So what's it been like seeing her here and seeing her do so well?
Yeah, so last year when I swam against her, she was a freshman, and I had never, ever raced against her before. She kind of was like a diamond in the rough. Like, she just blew up when she got to college. And but then this year, after knowing her, after going to the college challenge with her, and after going to Worlds with her, it just means a lot more for her success, for me to know her. Like, I'm a lot happier for her just because I got the chance to swim on a relay with her, a couple relays, and just knowing that she's a hard worker, she's a great person, just makes me feel really happy for her. Her 141 was awesome, and I'm the kind of person who I appreciate a good swim when I see one, and that was awesome. So I can't really be I mean, I wish I had won the 200 free. I wish I'd gotten those points for my team, but she lit it up and she deserved that.
So speaking of being comfortable with other people's success and seeing people, go fast when there's really nothing you can do about it. Racing Katie Ledeck, which you're going to have to do at NCAAs. You said that you're comfortable racing her, even though you like being in front. So what is it about racing her that makes you feel comfortable?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just that I have experience with racing the guys on my team, and I think they're a lot faster than me, and it's really all about I get my confidence from my training, and when I have a good practice, sometimes I'll have a good practice, but the boys might be destroying me.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've ever really been one of those people that if somebody's out really far ahead, that doesn't make me feel like I'm doing bad. In the same way that, like, if your race is painful, like, sometimes that doesn't mean you're doing bad. So, I mean, I'm comfortable racing Katie just because I trust in my training, and it's not like I spend the entire race watching her, it's kind of interesting because I've never actually gotten to watch Katie race because, like, I'm always in the race with her, but yeah.
Yeah, it's usually quite a show. So your last ACCs, but the team race not going the way you guys might have wanted right now. Looks like an uphill battle on this last night for you guys to come out on top. Is that like a setback for you guys, or is it very much we're focused on the NCAAs? It's okay if we don't win this one?
I would never say that we would immediately say it's okay. I think that there's been 9 years of this tradition, and we would be disappointed to not uphold that tradition. But I think that our attitudes and our spirit and our fight has not changed and hasn't changed, and we're going to give this everything we have. But if we don't come out on top, I think that we would go back to the drawing board and try to see what areas we could improve on. But I think that NCAAs is definitely, like, we'll compartmentalize after this meet,
right?
Figure out what we need to do to go fast at NCAAs. And I've talked to some of my friends on the national team about how to respond to ups and downs at conference. And I talked to Maya Dorado today. I talked to Olivia Smoliga, and Olivia knows all about it because they lost to Texas A&M last year, and then they came back and won the national championship. So I think that I just think that if you can't learn from something, then it's not productive for you. So I hope that we learn a lot throughout this meet, and I think that it is my last year, but I think that girls with less experience can learn a lot, and there can be new traditions that are started. Like, I'm very, very excited for the girls that we have coming in next year, and once we get Megan Maroney back, like, we're going to be stronger than ever.
Yeah. So one last thing, you've said a lot that this isn't it for you as far as swimming, that you're committed to going professional, which is kind of a crazy term to think of. Why are you so willing to just throw that out there?
I mean, I guess,
commit to it, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't really, like, committed in terms of, like, I haven't signed a lease for an apartment or, like, anything like that, but I just have committed mentally because I still love the sport of swimming, and I still love the people I train with, and I think if I ever started to hate swimming or if I wasn't happy, I would never continue to swim, because I think that when your heart's not in it, you're just not going to get the results that you want, and you'll face a lot of disappointment. But my heart is still very much in it. I still love the sport, and I feel like at the Olympics, like, I just got a taste of what my future can be. And so I think that, like, while I was very happy with my performance, like, it made me hungrier. Like, there were things I wanted to improve on. I wanted silver. I wanted a medal in the 800, and so after that, like, I was very happy, but I still wanted to. There's still more that I want to achieve, and I'm not done with the sport yet.
Cool. Well, Leah, thanks so much for the insight. Good job this meet, and I'm sure we'll see you at NCAA. It's going to be a fun one in Indianapolis.
Yeah, it will be. Thank you.
Thanks, Leah.